Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time. And I'm here today to answer a couple of questions in regards to using homemade wine, like you see brewing right here, for making homemade medicinal extracts, or really any wine, but always preferable homemade wine if you can. And the reason why is you know exactly what's in it. I do it as natural as I can. I don't use a bunch of additives for clarifiers and the like because I try to keep it as natural as possible. I know what exactly is in here. And two of the main reasons I like to use my homemade wine is that it's virtually free. It's not going to cost me an arm and a leg like a lot of the different spirits, even vodka, can cost unless you're making it yourself. And it tastes better. It makes for an easier to take extract. Now, I do have alcohol-free versions and stuff when it comes to making my medicinal extracts, but what I use mostly for a solvent is my homemade wine. Like right here, here is one, an eggplant. Organic eggplant that I dehydrated and then turned into a medicinal extract. And I'm currently taking it right now just to help with my general health. And this is actually a year old. You can see it was a wine about that color. That will probably still lighten up some. And you can see the color of it now. So one of the main questions I get is, people are concerned about the shelf life of an extract that is made with wine because they think that using a spirit is the only way to get a long shelf life, which is what most people are spouting. Where there's a couple of things that you have to understand. A lot of people like to just give a standard shelf life for things. It doesn't matter if it's home canned foods, dehydrated foods, medicinal extracts. There's always going to be some standard that somebody set in place. And anybody who follows that person and then follows them and then follows them is going to keep repeating and reciting the same things that they were taught. However, there's a lot of things that people don't even consider when it comes to questions like this. So what I had to ask myself, well, what is the shelf life of wine? How many decades and even 100 years or so have people stored wines, not just spirits, but wines? And the worst thing that's going to happen to an old wine that's stored for too long is if by chance, let's say the cork breaks down and it gets oxygen exposure, it's going to turn to vinegar. And vinegar is healthy for you too, and it can be used also to make solvents. So that's where you get your oxymills from, where it's a 50-50 blend of vinegar to honey. And that's a good alcohol-free version to give to children or people who just can't have alcohol. Or you can use plain vinegar, but let me tell you, the honey makes it taste better. And honey, just like wine and vinegar and spirits, are all natural preservatives. So as far as the shelf life, I don't concern myself with that. My thoughts are that it will be indefinite. That is just my thoughts. It's just my opinions. Now, my experience has taught me that using wine or honey and wine as a solvent for a medicinal extract and storing it on a shelf, not in the refrigerator, has lasted me for years. I've never had a single wine solvent extract or tincture, if you want to call it that, ever go bad on me. They've always still been good. And like I said, this one, I haven't even strained it yet, and I started it a year ago, and I'm not one bit afraid of taking it. The wine is in itself a natural preservative, and since the eggplant was used dried, there's no added water to this than what is already in the wine itself. Now, the second question would be, do they work as well as medicinal extracts that are made with vodka? And yes, while I do believe that for certain things, especially your more woody items like barks and harder mushrooms like turkey tail, that a spirit such as vodka, and the reason people go with that is that it's typically going to be the cheapest to purchase, but you can use any spirit. It can be whiskey, it can be rum, it could be tequila even. that they're going to extract those things better simply because of the harder nature of that. And so, yes, just to make sure, I will often use a spirit in extracting those things, typically going with vodka simply because it's cheaper. I'm not going to use my expensive spiced rum that I like to use for making vanilla extract because it has the best flavor. For making a medicinal extract, that the flavor, though it makes it easier to take if the flavor's good, that's not the important feature of it like is with a vanilla extract. So in my experience, yet again, one of the extracts I'm going to be most likely to take, or tinctures, is the one I make for pain and inflammation, and also is good for digestive health. And that one, I always make it after years of trying various different ways to make it to help with the flavor and the ease of taking that feverfew that's in there. I have found the best solvent yet has been a mixture of 3 parts homemade wine to 1 part honey. The honey helps balance out the bitterness of the feverfew, and it works just as good as any other way that I've made it. It works great. Now, commonly, I would say it's likely you may need to take a little more of a wine solvent extract than you would like a vodka solvent extract to get the same results. That's usually typically how it goes. The higher the alcohol content, the lower the dosage. And as a lot of you already know, I rarely give dosages or I give general ideas because it's going to vary per person no matter what the solvent is. So if it's a higher proof alcohol, you might only need a few drops of something. Where if it's something like wine or wine honey or an oxymel like vinegar and honey, you might need a tablespoon. You might need a whole shot. It's all going to be up to you, the herb, what's going to work best for you, and the solvent you use. There's so many variables here, so I don't give dosages. And the most I can say is no matter what it's made with, no matter the herb, no matter the solvent, always start small, start with just a few drops, then work your way up from there till you find the dosage that works properly for you. Because if you go immediately to a high dosage and you may be sensitive to maybe a particular herb that you used in there, that's not going to be good. If you start small and work up, you're going to have a better place to start from and listen to your body. So that was the 2 questions. What's the shelf life and how well it works? All I can really tell you is based on my own experience and pretty much what I know about wine. It's general shelf life, be it homemade or store-bought. So I've never had a wine go bad on me. Never. And I've never had a wine-based medicinal extract go bad on me either. So I hope you enjoyed this video, answered your questions. It gave you some other areas you can consider when it comes to making medicinal extracts that could not only taste better, but maybe save you a little bit of money, especially if you're making the wine yourself. And don't forget, I have a video on how to make wine and another one on how to make mead and how simple it is. And what I'll do is I'll link to my full winemaking series in the description box down below. It's super easy. And if you're interested in more of some of my homemade medicinal products, such as the pain extract, the deep sleep and muscle relaxer extract, and more, I will link to that playlist in the description box as well. And thanks for watching. Take care and God bless.